Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Peacemaker Season 2 reviews. This is for Episode 3. I am the Dreamer, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by
I am the Pierce Titties, Kirkland Patzer.
Pierce Titties. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is just him and I this week. Taylor is off on assignment. He's out there in the wilderness, but we are going to be here holding it down for this, for Dexter, and then I think he's back for, maybe he's not back for Alien. Is Alien
He's
just
just gone.
you and me?
Hope you guys,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
let him
hope you guys
go.
miss him. You'll never see
Oh,
him
he is
again.
gone for Alien, right? So that's why I was already planning on being back on it, but he's gone for Alien. So it's just other than a side quest, it's just me and Kirkland show for like the next few days. So buckle up
Ooh,
if you don't
spicy.
like that.
I like
then sorry, but that's what's happening. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got tons of reviews like we just talked about. Alien Earth, that's popping off. We have Peacemaker right now. We got the Dexter finale. Are you prepared for that Dexter finale? Dexter Morgan.
Yo, you went
Which-
Lila. I was trying to do fucking Blessing. I always
Dexter!
hear his voice now. Whenever someone says
Dexter,
Dexter,
you
that's just what
betray
I hear.
me.
Dexter.
Yeah.
Dexter.
His is one because he's newer. I can hear it and then do it, but I need to work. But yeah, Dex, and he has like the little gravelly, like Dexter, like he has a
Yeah,
little
that's
something
true.
there. But yeah, who knows? In 24 hours, we talk about him being the New York Ripper, but we got that going on. Traz told you drop this week, next week, 2 episodes a week starts, so look out for that. Reviews kind of spread throughout fall. We got side quest, and is there anything else that I'm missing that's gimmicks this weekend? We delayed it last weekend because we all just had a bunch. Well, other than that, I suppose me and David just had a bunch of travel plans move and whatnot. So yeah, lots of good reviews coming up in the next little while. Check out, subscribe to all the feeds, and most importantly, head over to Patreon. Get this episode and every episode we do ad free. We just dropped our top 10 video games of all time. We redid that after 10 years. That's on the phase 3 and up tier, but on every tier, phase 2 and up, you can get exclusive episodes. You can get ad free episodes. You can call in after 9 when we should be doing that next couple of weeks. Lots of good stuff. A shout out to the Patreon producers: Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, Godloves69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, and Cocktail Clay, and John with No Age, who we will be very soon in the next couple of weeks reviewing White Man Can't Jump. And that's one of the things, if you become a Patreon producer, you get every benefit and you get to pick one movie. Plus, there's going to be lots of polls coming out. There will be, I'm waiting for some quietness, but soon, because we did the Golden Geeks, I will soon make you guys unlocked it on GVD, the whole do vote for a retro franchise movie that we're gonna do. I will get that going up soon, but yeah, Patreon producers, you guys get to pick a lot of that content and kind of steer where we're going and everything like that. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here though. Peacemaker episode 3. I'm not even gonna say the title because I felt like the title was kind of a spoiler. It's something we theorized, but still, it's kind of surprised they dropped that, because the second they dropped, like, okay, that's just like a full-on confirmation of at least one thing we're getting. But Kirkland Patzer.
You gonna start with me,
yeah. No, I thought
I was wondering who
gonna
you're gonna
sneeze,
throw it to.
Yeah. Who do you think? But yeah, what do you think of this episode?
Yeah, I think this is a really good episode. I think it's a step up, but like not majorly from last week. I think last week I was really positive on. Didn't love the initial opening to the show. But once the dust settled a little bit going into last week, so I was really vibing with it a lot more. And I think this episode is better overall because the plot stuff that happens is just a little bit more important to the story overall. Yeah, it's interesting. Minor spoilers. It's not even. We knew at the end of last week he was going to be in this universe kind of for this episode, and it was kind of fun just seeing the different, what's different from this universe versus Chris's other, just his dimension that he left behind. It's good across the board. Like I really don't have like complaints or anything. I think I'm still intrigued on what's happening and what's going to be happening, which is a good place to be. There's enough breadcrumbs that I'm still interested on like how certain things are going to go about, and I think there's like a certain converging of spheres, I'll call it, that's like happening at the end of this episode that doesn't really happen. So that's going to be like next week's thing. So I'm excited for that to kind of happen, and I don't want to say too much more to accidentally spoil something, but no, it's good. I definitely recommend it. It's a fun show to follow. I like the comedy. I think John Cena is just fantastic. I don't give him credit enough because it's just like, oh, it's John Cena, he's gonna be awesome. Like I just like I have him at that standard, but no, he is really great. Of just especially like this season overall, it's a lot more emotional for the character of Christopher Smith, and I think whether he's just talking to Harcourt or whoever, his brother, I guess, from another dimension. Is it his
Mhm.
half brother? I don't even remember the relation
No, I
there. Or
think
are
it's
they
just
just full
his full
brothers?
brother,
Yeah.
as far
Okay,
as
so
I
I
know.
really like
Yeah.
those moments that those two share, and it's funny seeing because that character's a reoccurring character in The Office, so it's just funny to like see him here, and he's slimmed down, like he looks
A
good.
lot. Yeah, he slimmed down a lot.
Yeah, and
Do
he's
you?
got his shave head.
So he was in The Office. You remember what character he had a relationship with?
Pam.
Yeah. I learned in episode 1, thanks to the great Chris Balga. Hope you feel better. Check out Marvel Alliance when it's back. He's just sick. He's not like like eternally. Yeah, yeah,
Go check out his Kickstarter.
Yeah, they just took off this
Or
week
not
because they're sick.
Kickstarter.
So I'm just
Make
saying. But
whatever the hell it's called.
his
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, yeah, his Kickstarter, GoFundMe, all of it. But he informed me, which I did not know, that the actress that plays Pam, Jenna Fisher, and James Gunn used to be married. I did not know that.
I feel like I had seen that at some point in time, but I completely forgot about it till now.
So
I
I
think I was
saw
on her web page or something and saw that. But
I'm
surprising.
divorced. Well, yeah, no, and just it's funny that cast the X of the X. Like I don't think it's that sort of like any ill other thing, but it's just like it's
He's
funny
getting
that
back at her.
yeah,
Is
like
you're
the
reaching
6 degrees of separation. Yeah,
That's fair.
Taylor's he's gonna give him a love scene on the hardcore, and Taylor's gonna lose his mind, which I thought in this show Taylor wouldn't be able to take it, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's like on par with episode 1 for the most part, which I enjoyed the most. I think the show just continues to be good. I said last week we were kind of spinning tires a little bit on some things, but I think there's tons of fun going on here. But I agree with you where I get where everyone is with the multiverse with DC and Marvel, especially Marvel, right? People like kind of done with it. But I think when the multiverse is done well, it's one of my favorite concepts. No Way Home being one. I think Deadpool Wolverine does it well. You can argue this it's a cameo fest, but we talked about before, like Blade, Gambit, Elektra, like they used them as actual roles. It wasn't just like a one-off thing, right? Spider-Verse. So I think when you can use the multiverse effective, and especially for this character, where this character is literally the lowest he could be, and he's going into a multiverse, which is not a big spoiler. He's as of right now seem to be the highest he can be, right? Other than a few things, seems like things are going pretty well for Chris Smith in this other dimension, right? It was in the trailers, even this show, he says best dimension ever. So that's where it's like that's a perfect tool for the multiverse. And granted, we will talk about we got one cameo tonight. I'm sure there's going to be more. Especially, I do want to ask you a question about some Superman and some stuff news that James Gunn was talking about today, but it might be like spoilery, so I'll get your opinion on it in a second. But this was a good episode. I'm enjoying where everyone go, and I think it was really fun where they had Harcourt in the one universe and the other universe, and a lot of times they had her scenes like minor spoiler, but had them back to back. Like she would be talking with ads and then go into like her time with scenes, which I think is great because like obviously it's not confusing because like our Harcourt is like Bruce and Stitch, and the other one's all like prim and proper and kind of nicer. But even then, you can tell the difference, and I think that's just like a fun dichotomy, especially with our Harcourt. I feeling like not like the furthest thing from what the I guess I'll say Amelia and then Harcourt, because she even says in this show like, why you call me by my last name, so I thought all that stuff was really good. I'm like everyone else where we're only one episode into this, but I am curious what is the twist of the hook. That's the only thing I say with this episode. The way it ended kind of ended a little lackluster. I thought there was going to end with like a bigger hook, and I thought, all right, they ended in a way where I feel like we know what's going to happen in this situation, so where last week it ended going the multiverse, like, okay, what's next? So that's the only thing. I was waiting for one big thing to get me really excited, but I know it's coming. And even then, again, we've talked about this before, those last 3 episodes the critics haven't seen, so I'm very curious because we're in episode 3, so we got 4 or 5, so 2 more weeks of stuff. And even then, I'm enjoying this stuff. I very much enjoyed I'll just say a character they brought. Well, I guess they actually brought back 2 characters, funny enough. One character is not completely my cup of tea, so like we'll see what happens. Even then, I can't even remember if he was my cup of tea. I have no memories of the second character. We'll get into spoilers.
Curious who you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you not know, actually?
I'm curious.
Or are you just being non-spoiler for the people?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Enjoy this episode. Very excited for next week. Still liking the show. Like Kirkland said, Chris Smith, John Cena, doing a great job here.
And Chris Balga, he's doing great also.
Yeah, Chris Balga, he's doing great. Not dead or anything like that, So, but yeah, anything else on sports, or should we get into it?
This week was the first week I was like, I kind of like this intro, actually. I think it's I think it started hot, and then I'm like, I don't like this. And then it came on today, and I'm like, I kind of like this actually. I sat through the whole intro this time around. I was also like watching this episode with Shay for the first time, so I'm like, check out this intro. What do you think? And then as I'm like watching her watch it, I'm like, oh, this is actually a pretty good intro. I like it. Not as good as the
What did
first
she
season.
think about the intro?
She didn't react. She gave me one of these.
The Emperor Drog.
The Emperor
Yeah, like
Drog
Emperor
face,
Drog.
yeah.
Is this a show that's her cup of tea? I wouldn't think so.
She was like semi interested,
Yeah.
but no, it's not one of those where she's like, "What the fuck is this?" and she walks away.
That's good.
Minor spoilers. There's a moment when Peacemaker takes someone out with a pencil, and she was watching that scene. I feel like I squirmed more than her, but she kind of has a tolerance when it comes to that type of stuff.
There we go. Well, let's get into. We'll talk about those pencils, those cameos, and everything else in between after this ad break. And we are back. So I want to talk about the second one, not because it's a big deal. I thought the delivery was good. I think that the name's right, where they're talking to Economos, and they're like, "Oh, you got to work with us, our new agent, Rick Jagger,"
that
right?
one. Okay,
Yeah, and
that
then they're like, He's like, "Who the fuck is Rick Jagger?" And then they open up its Judo Master. That's why I had to correct myself. I couldn't remember. Like when I first saw him, I was like, I don't remember enjoying this character, but I didn't remember like kind of more vigilante, where I actively not hate the character, but this doesn't really work for me. So I'd have to really refresh. I had 1.1 to rewatch Peacemaker season 1, but I just never got around to. And I've dabbled in the idea of it, so I don't really know how I was there. But that line, the Economist line, when he got out of the bath, and there's two lines where he's going back and forth because Vigilante's like, "Oh, I'm an expert on spiders," and he's like, "Well, how many spiders is an eye? How many eyes is a spider?" He's like, "Well, every eyes is 2, so it's 2 eyes." And then he looks, it's like, "It's 6." He's like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, "You convinced me, so I had to look at my phone." And then later on,
first of all, he didn't say 6.
that's true, right? And then later on, when he's like said something, I can't remember the exact line, but it was something like, "But where's my pants?" Or like, "Why did you do that?" Like, shout out to that actor. Just I thought did a really great job multiple times in this show
Economos?
here. Yeah, Economos. I thought
John, I got his name. It's like Edgy.
it's McGee or something like that. Yeah, he did. Like, and I like him in general, but
Steve
I thought
McGee.
this
There you go.
Steve McGee.
Steve Agee or
Steve
Agee.
Agee. Steve Agee.
Agee. Who
Okay,
I
so
believe also does like the body of King Shark.
I think he did.
'Cause
Yeah,
he's like
you're
6'6".
Yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah, but he was really good in this episode. And we can probably talk about that. We can talk about the like our world people right now first. But yeah, Geomaster, did you have any feelings seeing him again? Because like I said, I actually had like but I'm like, why am I feeling that way? I can't remember disliking. I don't know. I felt maybe it was just he's something. I felt like he's like cheesy, over the top, or something like that. You know.
I think I had like the exact same reaction to you, where I was like, part of me was like, oh yeah, this guy. I forgot he's still around, and then I'm like, wait. Was he still around? Like I just couldn't even remember like his like what happened to him at the end of the last season. I'm hoping that it's gonna be one of those things that, although I don't necessarily love him like on his own, maybe just him interacting like with Economos, because I think Economos has been one of those characters that really like uplifts the characters around him. Like there's been many scenes between him and Adrian, or him and Adebayo, that I was actually like really surprised by. Like I'm just like, oh, two somewhat minor characters, but like the two of them together, I think it adds something to it. And even him and John Cena, like Christopher Smith's scenes, it's been a lot more from season 1 that they had a lot more one-on-one together versus this one. But I think that is a character, being John Economos, that can add a little bit something. And I am hoping that I'm gonna like Rip Jagger or Judo Master.
Is it Ripped or Rick?
Rip, R.I.P.
Oh, is it Rip? Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what my
we'll see what
subtitles told me.
happens. And I'm guessing they're going to send him after Peacemaker, because that was kind of like we'll get into the whole thing, but the hook was Peacemaker comes back from the best dimension ever into here, and Argus has a bunch of agents, and they're going into his place. Like I've said, like, I guess why this is not thrilling is the two results are either he just beats him up and gets out of it, or they just arrest him. He has a scene with Rick Flag Sr., and he kind of gets out of it. Like I don't know what the tension's really gonna be, other than I guess it could get us a scene with Rick Flag Sr. and then maybe Chris is in that other dimension for a while. I also was wondering, I guess I'm kind of bleeding into both worlds like Chris Smith here, but I was wondering why he went back, actually, because he said to Amelia, he's like, "Oh, well, I gotta go back and handle some business, and we'll keep in touch." But I was like, why is he going back?
Well, he still has friends there, right? He still
does he though? Like he does, but I guess like I feel like I guess.
Checking in on Eagly,
Yeah, he
making
should
sure
get
he's
Eagly.
okay.
As I say, like other than ads, I just feel like
Yeah.
he's annoyed with Vigilante. You
I
know, Hardcore's Rocky. Economos, I'm not sure about, but I guess he does have friends. So
it, yeah, it's interesting and just talking about like the greater multiversal idea of what's going on in the setting of the season 2. Something that I was a little bit iffy on like leading into the season, but now that we're in it, I am actually enjoying how it's being tackled, and I feel like the pressure bubble building up on Chris's character, Peacemaker, of just like he wants to be in this new dimension, but like,
yeah,
even if he stays here for years, what happens if he's bonding with his brother? And it's like, remember that time at fucking band camp or whatever the hell it is? And like, because he has no memories of this other Chris. Like, it is a
no.
completely different Chris. And I
That
think
happened
that the
today. That
cat's gonna
happened in the
be.
episode, right? Like, oh, how the test results go? Oh, they're positive. Oh,
That
damn,
was
cancer.
hilarious.
Seeing his reaction, like just the stare, because he has no idea what he just put out into the ether and everything like that.
It's like totally positive, totally positive. He's
yeah.
like, oh, I'm sorry to hear.
See, if I
So
was
good.
him in this world, I would play. Now it's different if we did this in our world because wouldn't make sense. But in a superhero world, I would lie to my brother and say that I woke up and my memories have been erased, and they could think it's some sort of weird superhero power, cosmic thing. You know, that's what I would lead with eventually. I'd suss it out, but I feel like I'd go that route and just be like, I woke up, I don't remember anything, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. Maybe leave it the part where you killed the other version of yourself, but yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I would do.
that is fair. I mean, he's just so confused, right? The first time that he
Yes.
goes there, he doesn't really know what's going on, and then he's just in shock for seeing his brother, seeing his dad, and then of course in this episode, the moment when he sees Rick Jr. that we talk about a little bit later. But yeah, no, I honestly thought he was gonna tell Amelia when they're doing their little date. I thought he was gonna actually be honest with her, which he
No, she's the
wasn't.
last one
And
that finds out.
he's just getting
He wants to be happy, you know.
100%. He's getting the rose tinted glasses, and she's just totally flirting with him. And picking back what you're saying earlier of like comparing the two hardcores, that was really fun because she's just such a badass and like asshole kind of like in our
Yes.
universe, and this one like she's just so kind. Like she goes in for a hug, when they first see each other at the office. But getting back to what I was saying of just like the pressure of balancing these two worlds, because it's like eventually someone's gonna find out. Probably everyone's gonna find out, and it's just gonna be a complete mess because then he's responsible for their Peacemaker gonna be gone. I don't think he's gonna be staying in this dimension forever. So then that Peacemaker will eventually just be dead, like to that world, right? Because he's not gonna be able to just constantly be there. Maybe they go that route. I don't think they will, but yeah, it's just a big weight. I think that's it's like an impending doom. I feel where like somebody's just racking up their credit cards without ever planning to pay
Yeah.
them, and it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep tapping, just keep going out. But like eventually, reality's gonna hit, and like he's not gonna be able to balance these two universes. And I think it'll go the route that he actually gets caught, like when they do raid the house, just to like put a little bit more of like in the other dimension, like where's our Chris? Where's this Peacemaker? Like he's gone. And yeah,
And life
I
could
don't
be
know.
worse for him for some reason, right? Like he escapes, and they're kind of saying you're gonna go to prison for multiple years or X, Y, and Z, right? So he might just look like there's really no reason to jump over or like stay here, and that's why I feel like
Yeah.
and that's because we were talking on the Discord, and I feel like the reason they're not revealing what's wrong with this universe right now is because I think they want it to get to the point where Chris is fully on K. There's things I do enjoy in this universe, but that universe is better. I'm going to go over there, try to live my life. And then when he gets there, he's going to realize, one, probably does miss those people, but two, something is wrong with this universe. I do agree with people that I do think it is still like the race thing or something like that, because I see people's points, but to me, the way they made, because it's a whole nature versus nurture sort of discussion, right? But the way they made Robert Patrick in that original show, I just can't see that guy just not being 100% racist in this one, right? Like to me, they made him look like he was a part. He wasn't just like subtly racist. He was a part of like the KKK. Like to me, that's
Yeah.
not something where it's like, oh, we grew up in a bad environment. Like I think there's X, Y, and Z different ways where, to me, because even Mike said like, oh, what about that fight like this? Two sons fighting the death. Maybe something doesn't happen, and in his eyes, Chris like mans up, and when Chris mans up, he decides he's also going to be shitty and whatnot, right? Because just because the world is cheering Peacemaker right now doesn't mean he's a good guy. There's people all around the world that get cheered by certain groups of people, right? Which I thought was great for him. He's super low. He gets on his pee cycle. This kid's crying. Oh, I love you, Peacemaker. Oh, this is awesome. And then like he's crying. All right, that's a bit much, you know.
Pierce
Which is
nipples comes out to the side.
yeah. Oh, I love you. Which the kid thing was funny because John Cena said in real life that he doesn't want kids. So like that scene, I mean, he was like, I doubt that's how it actually is, but that just felt like real John Cena for a second. Like, oh, that's too much. Like when the kid starts to
I feel
cry,
like he
like,
likes kids in real life. Come on, he's
but no,
interacting
he's
with
actively
fans,
said he
man.
doesn't want kids though.
No, but he likes children. I feel
I
like the way
no,
you're saying it is like, ugh, I don't
no,
want to fucking.
but I mean like
interact
that.
with
I just think I find that funny. Of like, imagine if that was him with mask off, like just like, all right, that's enough, kids. Like I'm John
I
Cena,
love
but
you so much, John
yeah,
Cena.
no, I think he's fine. He's the fucking number one Make a Wish guy, and he wouldn't be if
Yeah.
he wasn't great with kids. But that scene just gave me some fun fourth wall break of like, imagine if that was him. But he goes to work. Harcourt says, "Don't be late." And this was like an interesting wrinkle. So they get there, they show that they were texting back and forth. Oh, I guess before I go off to that wavelength, but yeah, something's gonna be bad. I think it's the race thing that was already set up in season one. I don't know what the other reason would be, unless it's just they're secretly villains or bad guys, but I don't know. Superman Mike says you'd think that his dad would be suspicious since he's the one who created the dimension door. Well, here's the thing though, right? He the dad's not had much interactions with him yet, and that's where even the
Mm-hmm.
brother multiple times been like, you good, everything like that. Now luckily, which I think obviously good writing, they put in the workaround that clearly this Chris Smith had some sort of drug addiction in the past, right? So if they think he's off, they're not going to think, oh, it's a different guy from Multiverse Connection. They're going to think, oh man, our son, our brother is back on the drugs, we got to look into him, right? So I think what's going to happen is when they realize that's not the situation, and the only scenes was what I think he like bumped into him, and then it was the scene where they were drinking late at night, so he's tired, he just said I love you, son. So it wasn't like we haven't got a scene of John Cena and Robert Patrick just sitting down talking it out, which I always have to remind people. It's so funny. John Cena's first movie, The Marine, Robert Patrick was the villain in that movie. So I always forget that until like I see them together. I'm like, right, these two, for seeing it all started with these two. But I think that's the thing that I think you're right, Mike, that they will question. I just think the dad has not had enough interactions with his son because they keep saying he goes missing, right? They're like, you're gone all the time. So I think they've barely seen him. So, but yeah, I do think it's gonna be the race thing. I think it's gonna be this thing where they're heroes, but that's really just a front. And then on the other side, it's gonna be, and I don't know what the tip off's gonna be. I don't know if it's like he's gonna bump into ads in that universe and something's off there. Like she acts very cold to him and be like, why would you act cold? And if it's like, well, if this Peacemaker's had a history of being racist and she knows that, like, I think there's gonna be some tip off where it's someone he knows. And I think that's the only character of non-white race that he in his group, right? Because it's like like hardcore John, like vigilante, they're all very white people, so it's like and it's not gonna be Tim Meadows. So I just think she might be the tip off, especially too because I feel like he's the closest to her in our
You want
universe,
Adebayo,
right?
right?
Yeah, but well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I always fuck it up. He calls her ads in the show, so I just said I'm calling her ads like that. I always fuck it up.
When you
So
said ads, I thought you meant like he's gonna get an ad and it's gonna be like a very
you are a racist,
ad or
Peacemaker.
something.
Yeah, you know what? But they could even do that where I bet you could have that moment. Then when he goes home, he sees him and like maybe it's not overtly racist, but it's one of those ads where it's like, oh, you're very hard on one side, like that sort of deal. Like I think that's what's gonna happen because he's still not in this universe enough. Right now, he's just doing personal stuff. But yeah, what do you think's gonna be the flip over, or do you think there's not going to be a flip over? Which I actually think would be kind of bold if they was like, no, this is a perfect universe, but he still picks because
Yeah.
doesn't that make it easy for a Peacemaker if like this universe is filled with a bunch of Nazis and stuff? It's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to stay around, but I would kind of like them not to do that and be like, oh, he actually, that's how much he cares about the people in his universe. He's going to pick them over seemingly the perfect world. But I do think it's going to be a flip of
Yeah.
bad stuff's going on.
I think it'll be bad stuff's going on. I think it will be tied to the dad. It's just suspicious that we haven't seen, a lot of the two of them hanging out. And like you can make the argument, it's like, well, that's next week's episode, and or whatever episode. And this week was just kind of focusing on the hardcore stuff, especially because how last week ended with him trying to kind of rekindle things maybe, or even just mend things with hardcore. And she's like, well, I'm not as fucked up as you, loser. Just a
Yeah.
hard pushback. It's like,
And
okay,
even this
I'm going to the
episode,
perfect universe.
even this episode with ads, it wasn't like she like revealed. She's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I do really care for him." She's like, "Yeah, that's never gonna happen." She's like staying. I'm sure that's gonna change, but at least even to
Hmm.
people that are not Chris, she's like, "Yeah, that's not fucking happening." So it's like, really, like they're like no
Well, because
reason.
something happened, right? Like Adebayo is like, you guys were super close, and then all of a sudden
Well,
you
they
weren't at
fucked.
all, and that's what ruined
Remember the
everything.
party boat? Yeah, I think so. I think they slept
Hmm.
together and then they got too close, so she's pulling back as far as possible.
Okay,
That's what the party boat is.
that's what the party boat is.
Yeah, because
Is
they
that a
keep saying like,
term?
"Oh, we did it." Yeah, in this show they've done it twice, where it's like, she even said Adabero said like, "Oh, you like." Chris said you guys went on a party boat a couple weeks ago, and then ever since then it's been like
Uh,
cold. So
I
that's
missed
just
that line.
yeah, just a term.
That
Yeah,
must have been when Philadelphia got a touchdown or something. I missed that one.
fucking Jalen
Um,
Hurts.
Popping off. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be something specifically with the dad. But part of me doesn't think it is gonna be that because that's just repeating, what the first show or the first season was,
What
sorta.
if you do the brother then? What if he's leading the really racist
That
stuff?
could be a good one actually because the
Yeah.
brother, like I feel like he's a little bit fishy, even though he comes off very warm and like brotherly and like no
Mhm.
matter what, man, like I'm there for you. It's
Yeah,
like
they're very close right now. Like out of the
yeah.
people that have had scenes together, so that would be kind of a fun twist.
And
That you
who were
know,
they gonna meet up with? It was like Jackknife or something, because that's who they were gonna go meet, and then Chris was going to meet Amelia for his date, and
oh,
he's
I
like,
missed
oh, what
that.
about this guy? And then he's like, fuck him. He's like, yeah, you're right, fuck that guy. So I'm
No, no, no,
curious.
no. You miss.
Oh, is
You're
that
pulling a
Is that
Taylor
Cowboys
Field.
touchdown now? Is that what
Yeah,
happened
you're pulling a Taylor Field because what happened is he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to Harcourt," and then the brother says, "Well, what about the jarhead?" referring to the boyfriend. And he says, "Fuck him," because remember,
Oh,
in a couple
yes, you're
episodes
100%
ago,
right.
he said like, "Oh, I know she's with the jarhead, and also we're gonna get the jarhead." So it was just referring to Rick Flag
My
Senior.
mistake.
So.
Apologies. Yes. Apologies. But yeah, I don't know 100% what's gonna happen, but I'm definitely in the camp that it is gonna be something sus with the universe. It's yeah, I don't know. It's just a harder sway to get him back to our universe if it is just perfect. But I guess that kind of boils down to your point of like, well, that's true to who he is. As his character, he says goodbye to this perfect universe, even though he
Mhm.
took their peacemaker.
Yeah,
That's pretty fucked up.
yeah, and I guess that's the one reason why I would say that that's probably another reason too, because I feel like if you kill him, you make the viewers feel less bad if you reveal that Peacemaker was a piece of shit, right? Where if he
Hmm.
was just a regular guy at the end of the day, I know Peacemaker's trying to atone for that, but like from his past, but still, it's like, well, he did kill this guy who's just like Superman in this universe. Like he's very popular, people love him, and he just killed them and like chopped them up, right? So I feel like Gunn will make that turn to make the viewers feel better about themselves, and yeah, we'll see what happens because I guess what's gonna I imagine that's why Chris is going to get arrested next week because I feel like he's going to either tell Argus or the people around him about what's going on. And that's how they're going to find out about this other multiverse. Because if he just fucked off, sure, Vigilante knows about it, but they don't know the full details, everything like that. Because I thought Vigilante was going to blow the cover because he's like, yeah, we know everything. And he's like, yeah, he tells me everything. Like, what do you guys tell each other? Oh, well, he knows about spiders. And I was like, okay, we're going on a fucking Vigilante joke for 5 minutes, which we did, which I did like again because of the Economos line. But that's why I think next week probably will be a R universe episode, so it's going to give them time. And that's my prediction is things go very poorly for Chris next week, and that's when he fully decides that I'm staying in that universe. Maybe he even grabs the Eagle because we haven't seen Eagle in this world. Like I think he's fully going to decide, you know what, fuck this place, I'm at it. Or even if it's just like Argus is put a bounty on him, they're like, we're gonna either arrest you or kill you, and he's like, well, there's nothing here for me. He was in Suicide Squad, he already did a bunch of jail time, and maybe he's gonna have the approach of, hey, I don't want to go back there. Like I
Hmm.
did, like I'm finally out and my life's going good. I don't know why I'm thinking of this now. Really loved the attire scene when he's getting ready and all like the shirts, the gold chains, everything. That was tons of fun. But yeah, that's my prediction is next week. I think things will go shit. He'll finally decide to go there. And that's what I just don't know is at the end of episode 4, do they do the drop of showing it's a bad guy? Or I wonder if that's I'm gonna say it's episode 5, because with Gunn saying that no one's seen the last 3 episodes, I could see episode 5 being the big stinger of like, oh, bad for X, Y, and Z, and then cameos, stuff like that. So that's my prediction. Is next week decides to stay, week after, you know, something bad happens.
Do you think it's gonna be what were they called? The Sons of Liberty? Like, do you think those are like the good guys in this universe? Like, they're actually going for like a right cause?
They
Not
could
right
be
wing cause, but just the correct.
Sons of. But yeah, Sons of Liberty. I would track. I did think when we were hearing a voice guy yelling, I thought they're gonna pan up, but it was gonna be someone that we know from Chris's world. It was not, but yeah, I think there's a good chance that they could be actually fighting for the proverbial right side in that universe, but really, because it's a good way to phrase it, right? Or like to put it for us, because and just because Argus is with Peacemaker, that doesn't mean Argus in this universe isn't bad. Even right now, you
Totally.
can like. I'm not saying they're bad right now, but Rick Flag Sr., granted, he stumbled into it because the whole pocket universe thing, but he was really just watching Peacemaker because Peacemaker killed his son. But again, even then, Peacemaker, if we don't forget, like that's why I do like the character and all these characters because they have gray motivations, is because like, in the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker killed Rick Flag Senior or Junior. So it's where it's funny where in the show Rick Flag Senior is being posed as this kind of almost antagonist, like, oh, look at him using his power. But when you look at it, he really has every right to use his power because his son was instructed by or his son was murdered by a guy that was instructed to by Captain Waller or whatever, Amanda Waller, to like, don't let our dirty laundry get out there. So it's like a fun mixed up tied up situation with everybody, right? Because I've said before, like Rick Flag Senior deserves to have some time, and I guess we should talk about the flags right now. No Senior here, but something so I was happy to see him. We talked about this. I love Joel Kinnaman. I'm confused on kind of almost both of these of the front of what they're doing with him. The multiverse stuff I get because he's dead. So we'll talk about this for. I guess we'll go to the other thing. So I'm guessing the show starts 3 years later. It's a wide shot of exterior
James
of a
Gunn's
house.
wife, just in lingerie, who looked phenomenal. She's very well.
She's in great shape. She's in better shape than any of us on the Geekverse.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she kicked the
100%.
shit out of that action scene. And also too, like I know we meme on like the Nepo pics and picking everybody.
Yeah.
I looked at IMDb. I'm not seeing Jennifer Holland. Like you said, I thought she was fantastic in this episode. I've never, if you've listened to me, like us meme stuff, we meme like in the trap, but like I actually have no problem him using his wife because so far in everything I've seen her and she is great. I think this is the right amount like hardcore, and I think she played that great as far as the hard-nosed one and then the softer, kinder one. But I just immediately thought of Taylor when we opened up a hardcore, it's in her underwear, and then you got Joel Kinnaman in the bed, and just because Joel he had such a problem with her and Cena, it's like, oh, now James Gunn's put her with like another dude.
And James Gunn's probably like right behind the camera.
Yeah, come on, get in there. But what I found fascinating, did not need, because I thought this was gonna happen where okay, he'll be in there, and especially because they had mentioned the jar thing episode or the jar thing a couple episodes ago. I kind of bought into the theory of okay, in the other dimension she is dating Rick Flag Jr., which she is doing, which we'll get into. But I guess this was inferring that they also dated in like the Prime universe, right? Because that 3 years ago, and then he even mentions June Moon, so that's Enchantress and stuff, right? And she's like, they're saying that they're having an affair, and she's like, well, why don't you break it off? And he's like, well, she'll turn me into a hole in the ground and X, Y, and Z. And then they do all the flashbacks of and him, Peacemaker, killing him. So I don't really think this is needed unless this is like, is this the reason why she's saying her and Peacemaker will never be a thing? Because she was friends with Rick Flag Jr. and he killed him? Because even then, like, it's fine. I don't actually buy that, because for me, I understand they could have drunkenly hooked up and that's a mistake, but she's still friendly with him. She's hanging out with a group setting. They're getting drunk. They're talking. They're laughing. So if you're that close with Rick Flag Jr. and you're so offended that he got killed, you couldn't date this guy, I don't think you could be his friend either. So I'm wondering where this is going to play out, because I don't think, if this doesn't get brought up as a moment, Cara Delevingne Enchantress cameo in the last episode, chills, wouldn't put it past James Gunn. I would not put it past him. But like, if this doesn't play off anyway with Hardcore, I did not need this addendum that our Rick Flag and Hardcore dated at one point. Like that didn't add anything for me at all. So
No.
I'm hoping there's something in the story, but I was scratching my head here because I thought this was the other multiverse, but oh no, it's ours. So, what did you think of this revelation that, yeah, I guess after Suicide Squad 2016, he starts sleeping with Jennifer Holland, and she's like, "No, we can't be together." And like I said, I'm sure Taylor would like that. He's gonna be like, "Oh, Gunn's propping his wife up. All these people are sleeping with hardcore." But I did think it was odd. Of what does this add really? You know, other than I guess they dated in one universe, they dated in the other, but we didn't need that.
Yeah, it was incredibly unnecessary. I feel like I think I'm gonna hold off my full complaints until like they actually talk about it, because if they don't, if they show the scene and they don't ever mention that, like there isn't some, I don't know, cloud over her and like Chris, and knowing that Chris is the one that
Just
killed
anything about it, you know?
yeah, anything like that, like if that's never discussed, then this is like minus however many, like this is a major knock. And if that never happens, then it's just like, I feel like still a little minor negative knock, because it takes down the character of Rick Flag Jr. a little bit, because he's like, oh, he's just what's the word, he's cheating on his wife. I can't remember what the adulterer. There you go.
An affair. He's having an affair. Well, again, we don't know if they got married, and you know, obviously not going to cheat on anybody. I'm just throwing it out there. But Superman Mike throws this out, which I hope not. Feels like they're kind of retconning Rick Flag Jr. to be a bit of an asshole to make his death feel less bad. That's something that would be major negative points for me. I don't like to me, that's the point that ruins all the gray area, not all of it, but it ruins a lot of the gray area. If they're like, well, you know what, Rick Flag Jr. was kind of an asshole, so it's okay, Chris.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he should have been a guy doing the right thing. Even if he's a jerk, it still was doing the right thing. Like, I don't want that minimized at all. And I thought they played that great. Like, not they, well, they as in writing, but also the acting from Cena. When he sees Rick Flag, I love that it wasn't like a scared, it wasn't like a fear. It looked like he was going to get sick. That's what he looked
Yeah.
like. He looked like he was going to throw up because he's seen this guy murdered. So I really hope that they, and to Mike's point, granted, in the other universe, they did make him very, very odd, but I really hope they're not making him be an asshole, because that, like, I don't need that. We're already bought into the Peacemaker redemption arc. We don't need him to be less bad, you know?
Yeah, no, I kind of hope the opposite happens. Like maybe we get another flashback, and I don't know if I actually want that. Actually, though, it just seems like more messiness can happen if we go that route. I was gonna say though, like pitching the opposite. Like if there was more moments of showing that he was like an even better guy than we thought he was, just to add a lot more guilt already on Peacemaker, and it just being like this massive regret that he kind of has on himself. Maybe it's something that he can kind of get across to Rick Flag Senior, even though I have very low expectations for what that character is going to be. I think he's just going to be an angry man his whole existence, then eventually just get killed or something. I also, voiced my, I was gonna say distaste. That sounds a little too mean, but my lack of love for this actor that's playing.
Oh, right,
Rick
Joel
Flag
Kinnaman.
Senior,
You're not a
yeah.
big fan yet.
Yeah,
Or
not the biggest
senior,
fan.
right, yeah. Junior, how do you feel about Joel Kinnaman?
I really enjoyed. No, let me wind that back. I enjoyed it. I didn't really enjoy it. I think he was a little bit too odd for me, like in the comedy side.
Very
However,
over the top,
when
yeah.
John Cena's talking to Amelia and they look over and he's just like peeking up on the cubicle, I actually burst out laughing.
Yeah,
Like it
that
got me
was
so good. It was like borderline Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. And he's
Absolutely.
like creeping behind them. Like that's kind of what it was reminding me of. It got a little bit too much when he's like knocking over garbage cans and like just keeps changing.
They went
He's like,
too
"This is
far at the
bad, This
bit."
is bad. Yeah, a little.
Yeah,
bit
why'd you
too
put
far,
this
but,
here?
But initially, when he's just like he's on the phone and looking at them, that killed me. That was like peak, and then it just went on too long. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping from just some more interaction between him and John Cena or Chris or Peacemaker, whatever we're calling him.
Almost to Mike's point, obviously it's different because it's a different multiverse. But for me, I'm torn on this bit because I actually thought it was funny. Like you said, same thing. I don't want to say I died laughing, but I got a few chuckles when he looked over and just that hard cut to Kidman on the phone, like staring over the thing, and then even the desk, like, why'd you put that there? Like I think somewhere else this is very funny and I enjoy completely, but I would rather, because the way they're pulling him off is very like meek and very like whiny and very pathetic, right? Like, oh, when he's like, oh, he just came to talk, and he's like, talk? He came to talk to you? Like, I would have much preferred, like, when you're talking about showing flashbacks to him being a good guy, they didn't have to do that. To me, all they could have done is oh, in this universe, he's a super good guy. And that reminds Chris of fuck, like that
Yeah.
guy I killed. And that's why for me, and maybe that is to Mike's point, that even in this universe, it's like, oh, well, can you feel that bad if you're kind of like killing like the jokey sort of meh guy? So that's the problem where I think this stuff was funny, but I don't like it completely for what they're doing with Chris and Rick Flag Jr. So as funny as I found some of the moments, I don't think it's worth the sacrifice of the story beats they could have got out of this. Especially, don't get me wrong, I think it's fun to have actors do something different, right? And Joel Kinnaman is usually a very serious, like action type of actor, right? I can't recall too many comedies he's been like. Even Suicide Squad, I feel like he's like the straight man a lot of times and stuff. So I get that. It feels like she's just dating him as like a second option, like a pity date, like just a rebound, right? Where I would
Oh
have
yeah.
liked if it was an actual Rick Flag Junior situation. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out again. And that happens a lot of time with Gunn, where sometimes the joke is he sacrifices some of the character stuff for the laughs, and we'll see how hard that really goes. But yeah, anything else on Rick Flag Jr. in this episode?
I kind of feel bad for him, just the fact that like Hardcourt's like pitching, like getting together with Chris on this date, and it's like balls in Chris's court. You know, like if
Yeah,
you can
she's
stay
way to
committed,
leave
I'm
him.
with you. But like,
Yeah.
she should be dating this other guy, and like he kind of has right to be concerned about her like meeting up with this guy. But I mean, he's meek, and you're looking at John Cena wearing his fucking
Oh yeah,
Giorgio
looking
Armani
good.
suit.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Who just passed away today. I heard on the radio.
Right, that's true.
91.
Yeah,
There you go.
you saw this episode. And...
Yeah. Even though I don't know if that was an Armani shirt or anything. I don't know high fashion.
RP
It's
the
probably
Armani.
Gucci or something. but
Wait
yeah.
for the Armani
Armani.
retrospective. We'll rank the top 10 Armani pieces of clothing. What else in this universe? We talked about a little bit, but just to reinforce, I liked all the stuff with Harcourt and Peacemaker and I guess Amelia in this universe, them catching up and the hot dog bit. It was all very cute. And, she's talking about how different he feels and he's talking about how he's changed. And it kind of infers that Peacemaker is like even more douchey than the one we have.
Yeah.
Infer that he was cheating on her because he's like, oh, at least I know this one's not going to step out on me. The one thing I'm wondering, she didn't call him on. I'm wondering if it's going to happen. He's talking about doing all the soul searching and whatnot. He's like, yeah, I've lived a very traumatic life. And I'm wondering in this universe if this Chris Smith could say that. Because obviously in the other universe, it's like, well, yeah, your dad was the Red Dragon piece of shit. You killed your brother accidentally. Everything that's happened in Suicide Squad and in between. Where in this world, like the brother and dad thing didn't happen and the other stuff didn't happen. So I thought that she was going to call him on that. I thought that was going to be a moment where she picked up on and be like, what do you mean a traumatic life? But maybe that could come later or maybe it's not. I don't know. But yeah, I liked all their scenes together. Thought it was very fun. Some good chemistry going on there. And I'll be interested to see what happens. And then we get into that action scene, which was tons of fun because I feel like Peacemaker, I guess he has fought every episode. The first episode he fought himself, and then last week he fought Argus. But I think this was the best one because it was just like John Cena feeling like he was in Arnold's 80 action movie hero mode. Like I really enjoyed this segment. You talk about the pencil kill. That was great. All the guns, everything. That will suck if they do reveal these were the good guys and John Cena just massacred them. But I enjoyed all this. It was good.
It was giving me a little bit of Last of Us.
Yes,
vibes.
100%.
Spoilers
Yeah.
if anyone doesn't know that story.
Well,
but,
who knows? People kill lots of people,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I really like this sequence. I liked how, like, in the moment, I'm like, he doesn't have his helmet. He doesn't have guns. Like, what's he really going to do here? It's just like, well, he's fucking Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Some of those kills were so brutal. One of them, he, like, pins the guy to the wall and, like, jumps up and just, like, double leg kicks him into the wall. And then he, like, lands on the printer. And it just looks like the whole guy's, like, just... like his whole neckle region just gets crushed. I made up that word just now, but like his collarbones and
The
everything.
neckle.
And then like the first guy that hears him, it's like I heard something's going on. Looked like a little bit of a weird duck, and then he goes in there and
I
gets
like
the
that
fucking
beat
axe
because for
right
some
to the
reason
head.
he said like, "You hear that?" And he was like, "What? Did you hear that?
Don't
There's
be
something going on."
paranoid.
Yeah, don't be paranoid. I heard something. Let's just go check it out then. Like for some, I think again it was just that actor's dramatic, like his reading got me in that moment. So
Yeah, for sure. What else? No, I think all of it was really good. The pencil kill was definitely the highlight, and just the fact that he was like on the ceiling, like the way that he just like repels down, it was as if he had like Spider-Man powers, just hanging from the ceiling and grabs him with the pencil there. But no, it was really good across the board. I like the after. I was gonna say aftermath, but it's not really aftermath. Just the after effect of what happens when Harcourt's even more like in love with him because of what happened. Brother shows up wearing that suit, and
Yeah.
it just looked funny the way that the helmet came up, and just seeing, of course, his character's Roy in my head at the office, just wearing this super suit. But yeah, the dad didn't show up, so that's something a little bit interesting there. And um, yeah, do you think the dad might secretly be working for like Sons of Liberty thing, or is that just too similar to the
No,
first one?
I do think if he's bad, he's just racist McGee again,
Yeah.
and he's just
Okay.
with the KKK, or he has his own red, blue dragon people that go around.
Yeah.
So I guess
Okay.
there's always a chance. But again, though, if there's some like big twist like that where one of them's bad and one's not, I think it's the brother this time. I think that'd be fun
Mhm.
because just juxtaposition of you get your brother back, but you know at what cost? He's this terrorist slash
For
racist
sure.
genocidal person. So
I really like the way that this event just unfolded. I think the biggest shock moment for me wasn't Rick Flag coming back. It was this guy just falling and exploding right in front of
yeah,
Chris and Amelia having their little date here. It just happened so fast and was just so unexpected. And then Buddy in front of him is like, Jerry. It was like really intense moment and like what the fuck is happening? But just that actor's like delivery there, and yeah, it that reaction when not John, Chris fucks up that one female like in the stairwell, and then like that other, I think it's the same guy that saw Jerry get fucked up, sees this lady get fucked up, and then he gets penciled right in the face. Even drops the classic "I'm gonna fucking kill you" equivalent before he gets
yeah.
it done. But he just showed like a lot of remorse for his comrades there, and then that just added to my feeling. I'm like, oh, these are probably good guys
I
or
almost felt like that
equivalent.
lady was his wife or something like that. That's how I read it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I thought was going on there.
It would just be
So,
weird to throw that in there. Just well,
hmm
they were just happen to be husband and wife, but I guess that also could be a thing if it's just that's their cause that they're going for.
yeah,
But I don't know. It just the way that it was. It felt like they're giving more effort to be like these aren't necessarily bad people.
hmm
That's how I read it at least.
yeah. No, we'll have to see. So let's take our final ad break, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Where do you want to go next, sir? Or do you have anything to go next to? I have something to throw too, but
Um,
it's more the end of the episode.
Eagly has a bounty out on him. They got the fucking eagle hunter, the good old Yondu. Don't know his actual actor's name.
Michael Rooker,
Yeah, Michael Rooker.
the
Who,
guy that we all should have had in the superhero draft, because he was.
yes,
I think he had 2 roles in Creature Commandos, and now he's here.
that's a James
And,
Gunn
like,
nepo pick. More than
yeah,
than Amelia or
more than
Jennifer
Amelia.
Holland.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no,
So
I loved him in the attire. I love the line delivery. He's just fantastic. He's so good in pretty much everything I see him in. And yeah, they're not gonna kill Eagly, right? Eagly's gonna make it out.
no. This is one of these things where I guess it's like the rig flag thing where I bet these segments could be fun. I bet they could end up being like fucking Peter Griffin versus the chicken. But I
Mm.
also go like, do I need a subplot of Eagly being hunted down by Michael Rooker? I don't know if I do. I will return back to this once we
Yeah.
get there. If it's for a 1 episode, that's fine with me. 1 episode can have some fun. If it's a multi arc where they're leading to this battle and like there's lots of moments, which again could be made funny, it depends. If they're overly funny and just I'm laughing stitches, then sure you got to keep them. But I'm waiting to see because there's just so much going on. Then like, oh, this is because I had heard this before. James Gunn, they talk about Michael Rooker, and he's like, well, he's not really a villain to Peacemaker. He's a villain to Eagly, and I like Rooker, but I just like I don't know if I need that in the show. It's kind of like when I saw Judo Master. I'm like, I don't know if I need this right now. You know, like uh, it's all going to be about execution. So the setup right now is I'm unsure about. I'm sure. Don't get me wrong. Michael Rooker's going to say some funny stuff. He's going to be great. I like that line of, oh, not only the eagle, we can kill the birds, right? Like, no, just the eagle, you know, and even Economos. And he's like, that's it. I'm not betraying my friend. And she's like, you're fired. Okay, but I'm not going to do this. Like that was like a good little like roll call walking right there. Tim Meadows is still alive, much to the wrong chagrin of Taylor Field, who's just wrong on like all his predictions this year with Dexter and this. Like, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Field. But yeah, so I don't know. This subplot to me is going to be purely based on execution. I need to see what
Yeah.
happens.
I think I'm right there with you. I think the more James Gunn content I absorb, I realize that his humor really hits with me or really doesn't. Luckily, majority of it does hit, which
Yes.
is great. But like the moment we were talking about earlier with Rick Flag Jr., like that really didn't work for me. Beyond that point, it's
Hmm.
just like, come on, man, just trim this fat out a little bit. You have this pristine little roast here, but no, kept it on there because he wanted to do it, and that's his style. He's allowed to do it. He's the one calling the shots, whatever. But
Absolutely.
I think I'm right there with you though with this Eagly hunt. Like I can see it being something that I'm just rolling my eyes at, or this could be like gold. This could be like the
Yeah.
peak moments of the season. I don't think Eagly's gonna perish or anything. That's good. I think it's just an easy staple to keep with this character. Have they talked about Eagly in the other dimension at all?
Not that I've heard yet. No.
Yeah, interesting. Do you think it's gonna be a duck or is it still an Eagly?
It's got. I hope it's. I don't know. I don't. I hope it's not a duck, but I guess it
Me
always
too.
could be. So yeah. Anything else from this episode?
Um. Oh, just Economos's line in that interaction when he's like, "There ain't no eagle I can't kill," and he's like, "Is that something we?" They're just talking about
Yeah.
like, is it even illegal to hunt an eagle or yeah, just all of his little one-liners at Economos in that sequence was really great. I had something else. Who have we not talked about? Adrian. Yeah, that was all great with his facts. I really enjoyed that. Maybe again a little bit too much. But I like also how the hardcore. It's like, oh yeah, no, I think Economos was choking on his own puke. It's like, why did you wait to tell me now? Runs up there. He's like, what are you doing? Get your fingers out of my mouth! Like, he's trying to make him puke. Of course, off screen we don't see that happening, but it was just a funny sequence that I was eating up, and yeah, I'm more positive on Adrian. I think it's not 100% for me the humor,
Yeah.
but just the
Again, for me,
actor.
it's
What's
nothing
his
with the wrong with
name?
the actor. I have
Freddie
no idea.
Stroma. I think he just
Yeah,
does such a good job at like
he
the
does. Yeah.
space camp type like face of just enjoy like last week when he's chopping up Peacemaker's body and he's just smiling and he's just got
Yeah.
this like fucked up smile.
He sells it great. Yeah, I got no
Yeah.
issues with the actor, and even the stuff like this episode was kind of. I think what I think why I was happy with this episode is this is where I like him in small doses, and now it's kind of like I understand. I think I've always understood, but I especially understood now when people are like, "Fuck, I hate Deadpool." It's like that. I don't hate Vigilante, but it's just not really my cup of tea. But I think in here when it was just like in two scenes, they gave him the end credit where he like took off his pants and like kissed his forehead. I actually enjoyed that too. Where it's just like such a random scene. He takes them off so like unstealthily, but yeah.
I don't think I have anything else. I think we got
Okay.
everything.
The only thing I was going to hit you with was so this week I talked about what Trash told you, but the only reason I'm mentioning it more now is James Gunn announced that Man of Tomorrow's coming in July 9th, 2027. He refuses to say it's a sequel to Superman, just says Superman has a large role in it. The only artwork that's been shared is him and Lex, and obviously Hawkgirl, she says she's come back. The Green Lantern actors kind of hinted he'd come back. Now, there was a report that came out from a C plus scooper that was saying they had heard some other stuff, and some of the things they heard was like Lobo's going to be in this, Supergirl. There was somebody else, but then the other person is Peacemaker. That's supposedly supposed to be in this Superman follow up. Now, obviously not a huge stretch because like technically Peacemaker was in the first Superman movie, right? I'm assuming, I feel like we're all just assuming that Superman is going to be in this one way or another. But what was interesting today was so weeks ago when they were talking about this game, James Gunn or this fucking game. I got a notification the football game, so I got that tight
Uh-oh.
race. Thanks, Apple. Just fucking get me an interception or a touchdown, AJ Brown. My God, doing fucking shit all for me. He said that, Peacemaker was a follow up. Today, when he promoted the episode, which he does every Thursday, but when he promoted the episode, he said Peacemaker Season 2, the prequel to Man of Tomorrow, which to me is very interesting. Could just be him being wordy, could just be him trying to get the hype up. But man, I don't know if I want to say for sure, but I don't know if I'd pizza bet you because I don't want to jump on that. I don't want to be like Taylor making a row pizza bet just off the cuff. But I think there's a good chance, especially with the pocket dimension stuff, Lex Luthor's going to be in this. So what do you take from some of that stuff that sounds like Peacemaker is going to be in this Superman follow up, and James Gunn referred to this as the prequel to said Superman's follow up. So clearly, it sounds like maybe in those
Yeah.
3 episodes that people have not seen, other than a close knit group of people, that maybe that's going to be a big setup for what's to come. And obviously, I don't know what that is. I don't know, like, people have talked about, oh, Brainiac's gonna be the villain of Man tomorrow. I don't think Brainiac's showing up in this show, but I guess you never know. But yeah, what do you take from that? Or do you think it's just James Gunn trying to get some hype on a show, and it's a prequel because it's the thing that happens before
Right.
Man of Tomorrow, you know?
No, I think there's definitely some good substance to that theory. I
Mm-hmm.
personally like story wise, I think it makes sense to get like someone like Lex in there. I am more in the camp of like I feel like it's a guarantee at least cameo that Superman will appear in the
Yeah.
show at some point, just because we got the great cameo of Peacemaker and Superman. I think it would just be so fun if we get something equivalent to that in this show would be great. Now that's just like a one-off cameo though, like me referring to, whereas the Lex one, I think it could actually have some substance in the overall story of
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. Um, but like I would be less inclined to take that pizza bet right now, just because it is kind of an uncertainty. Although it would make a lot of sense, and especially if they're throwing around the terms prequels. Although, as you mentioned, I think it's kind of a loose term these days. If it just happens
Yes.
chronologically before the next project, it is a
And Gunn is
prequel
always
to that.
good at the wordplay with like
Yeah,
messages and stuff. He's always kind of sneaking around everything. But yeah, I think it would come because I know there's rumors of Blue Beat and all these other people. I think it would kind of be funny in the last 3 episodes if one you got Lex, one you got Superman, and one you got Supergirl. I don't think Supergirl is happening, but when we were talking on the Discord, Mike brought that up. I'm like, man, I actually am very excited to see Supergirl and Peacemaker share scenes together because I don't
oh
say they're
man,
two sides of the same coin, but in a way, I feel like they kind of are. Like they've already said that she deals with her problems by getting drunk and she's reckless. Like, I don't know how it would go. Are they gonna bash heads because they're both like motherfuckers, or are they just gonna feed off each other and Superman's gonna hate that? Like,
just
we
going to
like
orgies.
well, maybe, but I just because I feel like she's probably older than him, but I feel like there's a scenario where Superman fucking hates Peacemaker, but unfortunately for him, Peacemaker and Kara like are
That's a
friendly
fun
with each other. Like
dynamic.
I think
He's
that's
really
fun.
friendly with Crypto. Like
Yeah.
just so good
That'd
together.
be, Eagly and him are friends and whatnot.
Yeah,
But at the same point, though, I also see the dynamic of how fun would it be like Peacemaker and Kara just hate each other and they're both going at each other, at
totally.
obscenities, swear words, and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm curious what these last 3 episodes are going to be, and him referring to that. And yeah, so we got Man of Tomorrow coming 2027, and it'll be very interesting. Last week when we talked about the orgies and whatnot, Peacemaker having a cameo in that's fine. But now when he is, I'm not saying again, parents should not look at ratings and whatnot, but they're already we had to wait till phase 4, like over 10 year or no phase 5, over 10 years of the MCU to be like, oh, how are they going to make a radar character like Deadpool into that movie? We're already in the 4th or 5th project. We're going to be like, you just got Superman, then Orgy Peacemaker, and then 2 years from now, how do you make him in that?
Mm-hmm.
Now again, I don't think he's going to have orgies. They'll tone it down. He won't swear, but still, that's now we'll see. Okay, what do you take a character who, like even Chris Smith, like he swears a lot, right? I guarantee in that movie, if there's an F bomb, I feel like Peacemaker is getting it. So that's what's interesting is already they're that's where I think James Gunn is doing a good job of showing to try and be different than Marvel. Is hey, right away, this character that's very R rated in the Superman sequel, he's in there.
For sure. Like Bub's comment here. Superman harem will be real in Pacemaker. Take all the women.
Imagine if that was actually what was happening in the best universe, like that was, or that's what Peacemaker's dad is doing. He's starting a harem or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
So it's so
yeah,
good.
yeah. So what we'll see. We'll be back next week for episode 4 of Peacemaker. Let us
There's
know.
8 episodes total, right?
There's 8, yeah. So
Okay.
we got 4 and 5, and then 6, 7, 8 are the ones that people haven't seen, and then a close group of people. So those should be some fun times. And yeah, so we got 2 more weeks, and we'll see what happens. But so far, still, even then, I'm enjoying. Even if I didn't know about this, like, oh, what's these 3 episodes like? I'm enjoying the show. Let us know. Patreon, Discord, YouTube, anywhere else, what you're thinking of it. Any theories, anything we missed, anything you just want us to discuss next week, we're an open book. So we thank you very much for tuning in, and we promise you next week it'll not be boring.